Hey hello, it's Otran here and we are back to Library of Ruina Guides. Today's topic is a Malkuth Floor spam strategy. I'll go over how it's performed, what pages to use and what receptions it can help you beat. Let's start from the roots. The backbone of the entire strategy is the abnormality page Happy Memories. This page picks a page with the lowest cost in your hand. After using that page, all copies of it lower their cost by 1. The abnormality page is strong on its own, as it lets you make a heavy deck with 3 copies of Tailoring or in cover, and makes such a deck manageable. But there is a way to push Happy Memories to their limit. That way involves the usage of another very important for the strategy page, Clone. Clone copies the most expensive page in hand and exhausts itself on use. With 3 copies of an expensive page and 3 copies of Clone in your deck, you can reach 6 zero-cost strong pages in no time. But that's not the most optimal way of using the Happy Memories strategy. It is difficult to sustain such a deck before the important pages are at low enough cost. A much better usage of Clone would be copying an exclusive page 3 times to get 4 incredibly strong pages and 5 more pages for deck support. Now that we know how the strategy works, let's figure out whom to use it with. Your earliest bets are Eugen and the unstable page of the Crying Children. These 2 characters have really strong one-day exclusive pages, Boundary of Death and Blazing Strike. It's up to you to choose one of them, but what you should know is that the unstable page is more consistent with a 13 to 28 roll and also works well with burn teams, while Eugen has a page with a 1 to 4 roll that gets 45 power if it rolls the max value, essentially doubling the average damage output of Blazing Strike. But keep in mind that Clone is only obtainable in the second row of Starter City, so both of these pages will have rather low stats for Starter City unless you run a healing build on Eugen. At this point many key pages are accessible, but only Nemo's Energy Beam seems worth it. But things start to change once you beat the Index proxies. All 3 of the available pages have their own high-cost exclusive pages, but I recommend using either Ether or Hubert for the strategy, and when choosing between them, you'll run into situations similar to Eugen versus the Crying Children. Ether's castigation can dish out up to 40 damage, while also rendering most opponents' pages useless. Hubert, however, has a 13 to 25 roll on Decapitation, which also is a ranged page. Hubert's exclusive page also inflicts bleed and feeble onto enemies, providing even more damage in the next scene. I personally would recommend Essa and his castigation, as Essa has higher stats, speed 3 and a stronger signature passive that actually helps the strategy. Beyond this point, Starter City doesn't offer many pages that benefit from Happy Memories more than the normal intended deck. Only Distorted Yarn can be used properly, as copying Baleful Brand is a great way to inflict lots of erosion. Distorted Blade can also be copied, but it is incredibly expensive, to a point where you probably won't use it enough to get it to 0 cost. His passives also make him much more of a support than an attacker, so it's best to use him to support your Happy Memories user. In Impurity you gain access to 2 strong exclusive pages, to Trigon Formation and Divinatory Impact. Both of them are great targets for cloning, but I'd say Divinatory Impact is more useful here. It has far stronger dice and can be used by anyone, so you can give Divinatory to Eugen, making her far more consistent than when using Boundary of Death. If you want to run a 2-Trigon clone deck, do that on Olivier or Herald. Both of them have the ability All for Hana, which increases their defenses, and Mirenea's Hana for All is much more useful with her normal deck. Upon completing the Revive Ensemble, you can access to Philip's page. It is a better unstable page of the Crying Children, and is arguably the strongest page for Happy Memories. Philip's second exclusive page, Rekindle Strike, was made with the Malkuth Happy Memory strategy in mind, and it lets you lower the cost of Blazing Strike much quicker. But Philip is not the only one who's available with the strategy on Impurity. With proper passives attributed and certain deck and enable pages builds, Eugen can be incredibly useful here as well. I won't go into the details of it in this video, as one of my previous videos covered the viability of Eugen completely already. But is the strategy worth it? What receptions should you beat with it? Well, you can't use the strategy on any abnormality of floor realization. It is bound to Malkuth Floor, and her realization is commonly completed before the Crying Children. And anything before Arc of 1 can be completed with the strategy either. During the reception of the Red Mist, you don't have enough time on any of your teams, other than the first one, but Venus Floor with all 3 proxies with the normal decks is enough for Red Mist Team 1. But anything beyond this point can be defeated using Happy Memories. The Association Section 1 and Arc of 2 are easily defeated by taking enemies out one by one with Castigation or Decapitation. Yarn can also be beaten using these 2 pages, especially Castigation, because its on-hit ability deals true damage, it isn't resisted by any of the hands. Also the minus 12 power does not work against mass attacks, so don't use Castigation there. When fighting Purple Tier, it's up to you to choose your spammer. Eugen works well here too, as her healing builds can out-heal Purple Tier Spear stance bleed stacking. When fighting Shao, take Hubert and his Decapitation, so you can use it against Shao's numerous mass attacks and inflict bleed on Fragile, as well as normal stagger damage. During Hana's station, it is difficult to get the strategy going without losing too much HP, but a heal and Eugen build with Manipulator of Odds solves that problem. When fighting Philip in the Revamp Ensemble, you can use the Crying Children to send him into overheat mode quickly, but Charlotte does it much better, so it's up to you to choose between saving Charlotte for a different reception or just using her here without happy memories. During the Black Silence fight, you can use your newly acquired Philip for enormous damage and burn, as he's really good at burning single targets. And it's once again up to you if you want to even run Malkuth Floor and decide to be ensemble or not. They pushed you a lot in the first phase, so you won't have many chances to set up clones without dying. And that's all I have to say about the Malkuth Floor Happy Memories clone strategy. If I missed a key page that works well with strat, or a certain usage of it in different receptions, let me know in the comments down below. And while you're there, you can press the like button to let me know that you liked the video, and consider subscribing so you don't miss out on more Library of Ruina guides and strategy showcases. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you around. Goodbye!